and get into our lesson for today. Now, we actually had a series planned for this month called Witnessing. It was based off LeBron James. We had a really cool promo video for it. It was like some kids playing basketball in the streets, and this one kid got knocked down. He was like, I'm getting back up, and I'm going to win this game. Then he went up, and he slam dunked it, and then it was like whoosh, with like the chalk powder. It was like Witnessing. It was sweet. But 2 nights ago, God completely changed my whole entire message. So we're learning something entirely different today. There's not really a sexy title with this message or something super like, just like, that sounds so good. Just like, it sounds good in my ears. But what we're talking about today, in its base form, is we're talking about the gospel. And for you guys who don't know, the gospel isn't a certain type of music. It's not a certain type of church. The gospel is a word that defines what our whole belief system is about. It might be up there on the screen because I'm seeing a lot of people point. Or everyone's just waving. Huh? What are you talking about? That's just me up on the screen. You guys aren't there at all. But the gospel, the back of my hair does look great. Right there, that random patch of hair. Yes. But what the gospel is, it's not a type of music. It's not a type of church. The gospel is what Christianity is all about. Now, the definition of gospel, hundreds of thousands of years ago when Jesus started this movement, gospel simply meant good news. But I feel like nowadays people don't realize that Christianity is about good news. People put, I think, faith with God on level with so many other things. Now, nowadays, I'm not going to deny you guys have a bunch of problems and a bunch of things that cause stress and pain in your life. And because of that, we look to try to fix that pain however we can. Oftentimes, what we do is we look for things that either make me laugh, make me smile, or distract me. And with that, I've been seeing a lot of things on Instagram, on Snapchat, on Whisper, on After School, whatever apps you guys are using. The last 2 I would stay away from. Those apps are crazy. But what I'm seeing a lot of on those apps is the most attention-grabby, help-me-out posts ever. And I think we all know it's the post where you repost it from a website and it's just text and it says something like comment or like if you're missing someone right now. Or actually, I actually grabbed some from some of our leaders that we're going to pop up on the screen for you guys. I see a lot of posts where you guys are just trying as hard as you can to get attention. Like we might have this granola bar is gone, like my social life. And why do we post this? Because we want someone to say, oh no, Brendan Simpson, you're one of my best friends. I couldn't do this without you, man. So heart, emoji, heart face, kissy face. Love you, bro. That we have things like, mom made banana cream pie for dessert. I hate that. And then we say, hey, yeah, your mom's crazy, yo, for making a pie. I can't believe that. We see things like hashtag annoyed. And what we want is people to constantly be there to make us feel better. Do we have some more? We can cycle through the rest of these ones. The boy I've been crushing on hasn't told me happy birthday yet. Come on now. Posts like this are all over the place. Do we have a few more? My shoes got stuffed. What a pain. Come on. But another one. Danny won't share his chips. Why does life hate me? Now, these are obviously exaggerated examples, but I see a lot of people posting things about how someone has hurt me, something's going on, I feel just so depressed, I'm upset, this is what's going on in my life. Oftentimes, when these things go on, rather than trying to fix the issue, what we often look for is just temporary Band-Aid fixes to the pain going on inside. And what that looks like for some of us is getting on social media and trying to get someone to compliment us or comment on our statuses or tell us everything's going to be okay. It might look like having friendships around us that are good but constantly just butter us up and put Band-Aids on our situations. For some of us, rather than deal with the pain, we want to get distracted. We dive into video games, whether that be trying to prestige in Overwatch or prestige in Call of Duty or rank up in Overwatch or just build whatever we want to build in Minecraft. And I love video games. But for a lot of us, like I said before, rather than dealing with our issues, when things come up in our lives, nowadays more than ever, we look for 3 things. What can make me laugh? What can make me smile? What can distract me? And these things are just Band-Aids that we try to put on our hurt feelings or lives? Can I have a volunteer? Volunteer. I don't know if I want to pick a girl for this one. Let's see, you can come up here. No, I don't want to do a girl for this one. Eris, I'm going to come up here. Like I said before, we got some Band-Aids here. Are we good? Can you guys see these? Can you see them? Are we good? We've got first Band-Aid, video game. Like I said, love video games, nothing wrong with that. We've got relationships, right? They're good, but at your age, let's be honest, it's just drama. It's going to blow up in a month anyway. And then we've got social media. Love it but hate it at the same time. And when we start feeling like our lives are falling apart, what you should be doing is trying to dive into what can be a solution to the problem instead of just spending time saying, rather than dealing with this, my life's just feeling real I just got this problem right now. I really should deal with it, but you know what? Rather than deal with it, I'm just going to post about how sad I am on social media, and I know my friends will be there for me, and they'll like and comment and follow, and then that'll be great. My life will be much. But you know what? Then that's not starting to work. That's not doing it. What happens if you don't have friends, right? So what happens is you try, rather than looking for a friend, you're like, you know what, maybe if there was someone out there who just cared for me, if I was just dating someone, I bet that would fix it. I bet just being in a relationship would help fix I need another volunteer. Hurtina. You know what, okay, forget trying to fix this problem with other people. I'm just going to get by myself, I'm going to get with my guys, I'm just going to video games it up. You know what? Just going to play as much as I can. And there might be other Band-Aids. Can you put this on avoid the eyes if you can and the eyebrows. But go ahead and there are all different types of Band-Aids that we turn to. Like I said, it might be friends. It might be isolating yourself. Honestly, there's a lot of Band-Aids that you guys are turning to nowadays that kind of terrify me. I've talked to too many people about how the Band-Aids they're turning to, they said their older brother or sister or some friend at school told them that self-harm was a way of them dealing with pain. So that's what they try to turn to for a Band-Aid. Or they turn to some kind of addiction. They turn to some kind of relationship. They try to push a little bit farther than they should be. And they think that these things are going to be the solution to the pain that is going on inside of them, the loss of identity that's going on inside of them. And what really terrifies me, can I have one of those Band-Aids? Do we have one? What really terrifies me is nowadays more than ever, I feel like as a country, as a culture, as a world, what the gospel has become, what the good news of Jesus has become is really no more than just another Band-Aid. For some people, a relationship might be good for them. For other people, social media is good for them. But if your Band-Aid is Jesus, that's fine. You go to church, you get, your goosebumps for a little bit, and then you go home. You go in your room, you listen to worship music for a little bit, and then you're all good. But Jesus is just another little, I'm getting... You raised your hand, man. That's what you asked for. You know what?
It's not sticking.
That's enough. That's enough out of you. Nope. All right, give it up for our volunteers up here. Good luck peeling those off.
Can I take it off now?
Yes, you can take that off. But nowadays, I think that the gospel message of Jesus has become nothing more than another temporary fix. Solution. If I need help, I'll go to Jesus for a little bit. Maybe he'll work, maybe he won't. And that breaks my heart. Because the message of Jesus was never supposed to be a message where Jesus just makes you happy. He just distracts you for a little bit. He just makes you laugh. You go to church and it's just fun. I love that church is fun. But what Jesus died for wasn't for a Band-Aid solution. What Jesus died for was the solution to your problems, no matter what it is. The Band-Aid of Jesus isn't a Band-Aid at all. What Jesus came and died for was to change your life, period. And if your relationship with God isn't doing that, then hopefully by looking at a story in the Bible today, we can see some things that we can do to push a little bit farther in our relationship with Jesus. Now, some backstory. This verse is found in Luke 8. So if you're taking notes, or if you want to look back at this verse later, in Luke 8, we are in the middle of a busy city street. And what's going on is Jesus is surrounded by a crowd of people on his way to someone's house. Now, whose house are we on the way to? We are on the way to a pastor's house. Because oftentimes, I think we think that who Jesus is surrounded by is by religious people, right? Who Jesus helps is the people who have their lives together. Who Jesus helps is the people who read their Bible and that's it. Who Jesus helps and does miracles for are for the people who just are crazy about him. And in this story, we do see Jesus following this pastor whose daughter is sick and dying. And we think, of course, that's who Jesus is helping. He's going to be surrounded by religious people and not by people like me. But we zoom out of that crowd, making its way down the street, and we go to a different part of the city. And this part of the city is where we pick up in Luke 4:33, I believe. And in Luke 4:33, we go ahead and we pick up and we see that there is a woman in this town. And a woman in this town had had a condition where she was bleeding continuously with an internal injury for 12 years straight. She was exhausted. She was sick. She felt like there was nothing left she could do to live. In fact, she tried everything she could do to fix this solution. She went to every doctor she could to try to figure out how to get better. And nowadays, I think this woman, to me, looks a lot like us. I think a lot of us have something going on inside of us that just hurts and continually is bleeding, and it's always there. When we look over our shoulder, the problem's there following us, and that's why we turn to Band-Aids. Maybe if I distract myself with friends, I won't have to deal with that problem. But then we find out that those friends, no matter if we tell them or not, they can't fix it. Maybe if I get in a relationship with a guy or a girl, maybe what that means is if they love me, then that problem will go away. But then that turns out not to be the case. Okay, maybe if I just distract myself and I just plug in video games, social media, distract myself as much as I can, watch every single PewDiePie or Markiplier video I possibly can, that'll just distract me from the pain. No, it's not working. It's still going on in my head. I think this is why a lot of us can't sleep nowadays, is because instead of trying to fix the problem, we're just trying to distract ourselves from it. This woman has tried everything and nothing's working. So finally she decides that rather than trying to use another Band-Aid, rather than trying to get on another weird diet or go to another weird doctor, she hears a rumor that there is a Band-Aid that seems to be working, that there is a man named Jesus walking through the There we go. Yeah, Ryan, killing it. This man walking through the street says, I'm not just going to distract you from your problem. I'm not just going to make you feel good for a little bit and give you goosebumps. I'm going to send you home different than when you first came to me. And this woman says, if this guy's truly the answer, I have to get to him. The woman puts on probably a heavy cloak, covers her face, and begins pushing her way through the city. And probably a weakened state. It's probably hard for her to stand, hard for her to walk, and she's making her way through this city and eventually finds the crowd and begins pushing her way through. And she doesn't want to approach even Jesus' face and say, I need your help. She sneaks up behind Jesus and just tries to get just a touch of his cloak. See, even she thinks, if this guy is as good, if this Jesus is as good as he says he is, I don't deserve to even look at his face. I just want to sneak in behind and see if I can sneak in and sneak out. She touches his cloak, and immediately in that moment, she gets healed of her disease. She feels the condition end. She feels that all the Band-Aids she'd put on to try to fix this thing and it wasn't worked. She felt like this relationship with Jesus, this man that she had encountered, wasn't just another temporary fix, but it was the solution. And after that, Jesus stopped in the middle of this crowd. And Jesus began looking around and saying, who just touched me? Someone just took something from me. Someone came in here and they took something without asking. They snuck in and tried to take something from me, and they got it. And he begins looking through the crowd, and the woman at this point is terrified. Why? Because the woman doesn't belong in this crowd of perfect people, right? The woman doesn't belong in this crowd of pastors and pastors' assistants and interns and public speakers. She's just a broken, dirty, imperfect woman in this crowd of, professional religious people who every day post to Instagram their soap and Snapchat every morning a picture of their grapefruit cut in half next to their Bible. These are people who are like big deals in the religious world. But Jesus turns around, and as this woman approaches and kneels down, Jesus gets down, and Jesus doesn't get in her face. Jesus looks her in the eye and says, "Look, you came looking for healing, and you got it because you believed. Go home with what you've gotten, and let your life look different." Now here's what this story says to me. This story says that the people who Jesus came and died for wasn't just the perfect people, but that Jesus came and died for the people who were dirty, the people who were broken, and the people who were imperfect. Jesus didn't come and die because the world was good enough and he just wanted to be another thing out there for you to entertain yourself with. Jesus came and died because he realized the world is a messed up place and there's only one solution that will work. And the solution is that the God who made the world also had to die to try to fix the world. Not just try, but to be able to do it. Now, here's the thing, though. Like I said before, Instagram, video games, relationships, these things welcome you in, but once you get in, you stay pretty much the same. Being good at Overwatch isn't going to fix that identity issue. Having a relationship with a boy isn't going to fix how you feel about yourself. Going ahead and having a bunch of followers on social media isn't going to change the way you feel anxious in a crowd of actual people. But Jesus is one of the few things that says, I don't want you just to come as you are and stay the way you are. I want to welcome the dirty, the broken, and the imperfect. And when you leave, when you walk away from me, when you arrive and be in the crowd and leave the crowd, I want to turn the dirty into the clean. I want to turn the broken into the whole. And I want to turn the imperfect into the perfect. And the worship team can come on down. I want to end on that word perfect. Because the message of Jesus, the gospel message, is as crazy as that word perfect sounds. Your relationship with Jesus is not meant to be something that just makes your life a little bit better. Your relationship with Jesus is meant to be something that makes you perfect. And you should never stop until your relationship with Jesus becomes and makes you the perfect version of you. If you have a relationship with Jesus and you're dealing with problems, Jesus has those solutions for you. If you're dealing with something and you don't have a relationship with Jesus, Jesus wants to fix those things as well. What does it require from us? What does it require from us to get these things from Jesus? Do I have to perform? Do I have to be perfect? What you have to realize is you have to stop trying to slap Band-Aids on a solution that only Jesus can fix. What are the things that you're trying to distract yourself from? What are the things that you are dealing with and you're trying not to pay attention to, hoping they're going away? Rather than just trying to constantly spend all your time playing video games or with a guy or a girl or on social media or just avoiding the issue, rather than doing that, like this woman, pick yourselves up. Stop complaining and whining and thinking this is the way your life has to be. Pick yourself up out of your house and begin making your way to Jesus. If you want him to fix your problems, make your way through the crowd and reach out and try to touch him. And when you do, the Bible constantly says he doesn't wait for you to get to him, but he meets you halfway. Open your Bible and see what it says. Google search, what does the Bible say about blank? Go in your room and turn on worship music. I can't do this for you. The leaders can't do this for you. The worship team can't do this for you. If you want to get to Jesus, get up and begin making your way there.